She makes her way to the bridge, approaching who she assumes to be Captain Pike. But the man that turns around in his chair
is Jim Carrey.
Kirk. Jim Kirk.
That was my first thought whenever I seen it. I don't know if it was the shading in that scene or if it was maybe just the shadow in the right place. But as soon as he turned around, all I could think of was the mask.
So people started pointing that out, obviously, with the Balance of Terror redo from the previous season. And after people started pointing it out, it became hard to not see where for me, it just started as like a casual, like, oh yeah, I can see those two look alike a little bit.
Yeah.
And then after everybody started beating that point up, then I was like, I know I can't unsee the Jim Carrey resemblance.
It's just been photoshopped into your mind's eye now.
Exactly. You know, and I'm having flashbacks. There was a show when I was younger called In Living Color, and Jim Carrey either once did or occasionally did, I don't remember, a bit where he played Captain Kirk.
We should probably get a little sound clip of that.
Oh, yeah,
there,
right.
If we can.
About
beep.
Hey, mister, you can't come in here and talk to me like that. Uhura, get me Starfleet Command.
Yes, Captain.
Oh!
There. So, one of my favorite bits here, of course, is he turns around and says to her, ma'am, not to be impolite, but who are you and what the hell are you doing on my ship?
And cue intro.
And then we go into the intro. So, at this point, they got a nice setup. What the heck is Jim Kirk doing here? Why is he captain? Blah, 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 blah. As we go into the opening of the episode, Uhura reports that there's a nearby Vulcan ship hailing them. The captain orders a channel open, identifying himself as James T. Kirk of the United Earth Fleet ship Enterprise. Now we also understand why the badges are so very different.
Right.
The Vulcan ship is, of course, captained by Mr. Spock.
Small world.
A very small world. And apparently the Vulcans are losing a war to the Romulans. Kirk wants no part of that. I don't know if that's a self-preservation or an Earth preservation. I was just shocked to see that a version of Kirk says no to a version of Spock.
Yeah. Well, you got to throw in the subversion there.
You do.
When you
have to buck reality a little bit, you know.
And doesn't he make a line in there that says, at one point in time we could have been friends, but right now I have a loyalty to something.
Oh, he might. He could echo some of the not Errand of Mercy, but the Balance of Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw some kind of something in there.
Yeah. Also at this point, he turns down the fighting with the Vulcans because they're already fighting a war on two fronts, which I don't get because a war with the Romulans is a war with the Romulans. So maybe
the Klingons are
involved because in the past we did know the Klingons and Romulans did have alliances.
Yeah. Maybe they accidentally encountered the Ferengi early and
maybe. I mean, not that that's much of a war. Those guys are, you just be like, hey, here's a bunch of gold that we made up in our, they didn't have replicators. No. Hey, here's a bunch of square food-like objects and some other stuff, maybe, you know.
There's some real shiny stuff we found.
So they decide, Lon and Kirk decide they're going to go in the conference room and talk about what's going on. So Kirk isn't buying what she's selling, as she's pitching the story about being from a parallel universe where it's completely different. She keeps trying to appeal to his Starfleet captainness, but he's never heard of Starfleet, so it's not really going over real well. And let's see here. They start fighting over whatever device it was that the gray suit bloody bullet guy gave her. And wham, bam, thank you, spam. Somehow they end up somewhere else.